Hello, and thank you for joining us. I'm Chris Northrup. I'm here with Lynn, and today we're joined by Chris Vitale. Hopefully many of you recognize, and I'm sure do, Chris. He's the founder and editor-in-chief of Ballnine, and we really appreciate you joining us today.
Well, thank you for having me. Good morning.
Well, I know it's nice and early for you, and thank you for coming on.
It is.
Not feeling your best.
That's okay. I mean, hopefully this will make me feel a little better. Talk a little Yankees baseball, and like I said, it's not COVID. Or like you said, I have some weird desert cold going on. So, what can you do?
We'll get your blood flowing.
Yeah, it's got the good like Rod Stewart voice thing happening. So
yeah, exactly.
It's working. Little loopholes too.
Well, Lynn and I were intrigued by your bio. It says Chris was the other half of the battery for the 1986 Belleville Recreation Farm League champion Indians.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Oh, that was Rocco Costantino, who's like one of our main writers. He and I played together. God, we met. I think we were about 8 years old in like Peanut League. We were on the same team, and he and I were. He pitched and played first base. I was the everyday catcher and would play third base, from time to time. And then, a bunch of years later, like 4 years later, we were still on the same team in a like next level league up, and we smoked the competition. And the final game, he was pitching, I was catching, and it was. It was pretty hilarious. Actually, Kevin Kernan did a piece on Ballnine last week with the president and CEO of actual Little League, and he was talking to a bunch of people about Little League experiences, etc. And there was actually a video clip of us from 1986 of getting the last out and that thing, and there were like little 12-year-old kids like jumping around like idiots, and me trying to do my best Yogi Berra by throwing the glove and running out to the mound and whatnot. So it's pretty funny. So yeah, that's all that is. And we've known each other since then, and years later we're doing this, so it's kind of cool.
Well, tell us what this is. You call yourself Willie Randolph Hearst. What is this? Are you running a media empire?
It's the smallest empire that I know of.
But it's burgeoning.
Yeah, it's getting there. It's something. We just hit. We just had like our 2-year birthday, so that was nice. So we're 2. But yeah, I mean, it's we do the mostly. I wanted to start something that was kind of like old time sports writing.
Yeah.
That's kind of gone away in recent years, and it's just what I grew up on, and I know that's what Rocco grew up on. And,
yep.
Then we got Kevin Kernan, then we got Kevin Zawinski, and guys like John Carulla's. Deb Seymour is working with us now. We've
Kevin
got
Kernan is amazing. Yeah. I read a lot.
Oh yeah, I mean, he's when I was a kid, I loved him too. So I mean, I was like, hell yeah, you want to do this?
Exactly. And with the death of Roger Angel, as you point out, it's a dying art.
Yeah.
Look at the Athletic. I mean, they're having success because they're practically the only ones still standing.
Yeah. Jeff Passett does a good job over at ESPN, but I love, Ken Rosenthal and those guys at the Athletic, because they're still bringing you those stories.
Right.
So, we were focused a little more on baseball history, because that's, just what's interesting. And that's, that really helped during lockouts and COVID and everything, because there was still stuff to talk. There was 150 years worth of stuff to talk about, but, so that helped. But, we've gotten into, video, and, we're starting, a couple of these audio only podcasts. There are a couple other things that we're working on that hopefully we can get moving. The merchandise thing. I went and now I own this company called Big Fly Gear, which I got from Victor Rojas, who was the Angels play-by-play guy for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
And now he's moved down to Texas, and he's the president and GM of Frisco Rough Riders, which is the Rangers AA team. Okay. So he just didn't have time to run this thing anymore. So I was like, sure. So he was looking for somebody, who kind of just loved baseball, someone who would help grow this company. So I'm doing that too. So I don't know about media empire, but there's a hell of a lot going on in my garage.
I was about to say, Yeah, it has
So,
all the markings of it. Chris, I don't want to put you in, like, embarrass you or anything, but can you just give a shout out for your various websites? You know, because I know that your gear is you know, very popular and very unique. And so
yeah, I'd say so.
yeah, you know, could you just for those listening that don't know about it, give any other tags or
Yeah, I mean it's you know, I mean it's ballnine.com. You have to spell out nine. You know, so it'd be, you know, NINE. If you just type the number nine, apparently you get a Chinese company who's trying to sell me the name. So there's that. You know, we haven't engaged with them yet. And then bigflygear.com is, you know, the other apparel company, and you can find us there, and you know,
And merch is fun.
we'll try and have you covered. Yeah. So
Yeah.
you know, but with Ballnine, we get to do some of the weirder, kind of funkier stuff. You know, with Big Fly, we do, it's a little, you know, more on the serious side, but we still have some fun with it. You know, we do like storytelling shirts, and we've done collaborations with the Negro League Museum and Bob Kendrick and things like that. And you know, we're looking forward to doing more stuff like that in the future. So
Right. Well, you know, I definitely see the difference between what Ball9 does and what other similar, I don't know,
well,
what you
thank you.
want to call it. Like Empire Sports Media, for example, is another, you
Sure.
know, that puts out what original articles, so to speak. Nothing like the quality that you guys are giving us. It's unbelievable.
Well,
I really think, you know, it's very unique and elite what you guys have going on.
Thanks.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we try. I mean, like I said, I mean, we have a really good relationship with, you know, a lot of just retired players, and you know, even lots of current coaches and front office guys, and you know, retired front office guys and managers. So, I mean, the cool thing is, it's like people within the game, or that have been within the game for a long time. They trust us. They know we're not gonna throw them under the bus or anything. I mean, you know, Rob Manfred, that's a different story. You know, we may not be on his Christmas card list
that's
for
okay.
another
There's a lot of buses
couple
looking
years.
for him. So
Yeah. But you know, generally it's and I think that's really what helps us is, and you know, and these guys have no problem coming on and, you know, giving us quotes or doing interviews or you know, doing videos or anything like that. And you know, we get a lot of messages from guys within the game now, you know, whether they're coaching staffs or scouts or anything like that, and you know, ex-GMs or, you know, just anyone, and they love it. I mean, they can't really admit it because obviously, you know, we're not big Rob Manfred guys, but you know, I like to say, you know, it's like, yeah, we're baseball's favorite website, but they just can't admit it. So, you know.
and you know what, Chris, what you're doing is not only unique but important, because
Thanks.
it's becoming more and more evident from the fan base that they don't understand the culture and the history of the game, or appear to have much value for it.
Hear, hear.
Ever since we transitioned more into stats and standings, and you know, I come up from a time where it just mattered where you were. You know, the stats were okay. How many games back?
Yeah. Just reading the box score.
Exactly. Who do we hate the most? You know, the first thing I learned my first day in the stadium was my father bought me that play card and taught me how to keep score. Like, to me, that was stats, and to me, that still really is the stats. And so, you know, you are providing an opportunity for people to learn the culture, the history, hear from the guys that are still active, who know the game from a more personal point of view with the players, what's making them tick. And, you know, and all due respect to, like Chris mentioned, ESM, Ryan Garcia is my go-to a lot of times.
Yeah, he's good.
You know, I'm not dissing them.
Stats and his take. But, you know, interviewing and engaging with the people that know the culture, history, not just of the Yankees, but of the game. For the fans that really aren't in it, it seems, for the love of the game, It's so important. And so we're behind 100% your mission here.
Thank you. Thank you.
So,
And that's kind of, I mean, we kind of wanted to do that because it's just a different perspective, I mean, like who better to ask than the guys who were who played in the game in 1985, and things like that. Like who were there. I mean, their stories are funnier than anybody else's too.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, that's kind of what we wanted to bring, was like a little bit of sense of humor because, in my experience, baseball players are a funny breed, man. I mean, there's some strange birds right there. And, it's just fun to bring that to people because it's not something you read every day. And it's a little bit different. And, and these guys love it because, like I said, we're not going to ask them, things that need to stay in the clubhouse. We're not going to ask about.
Right.
But, and they know that we're not going to, I mean, they might tell us, off the record, which is hysterical to me, but they know we're not going to come out there and say anything that we shouldn't be saying. So again, it's a matter of trust, and it's just it's just fun to do. So
we agree.
Thank you.
I love it.
Oh God, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm dying over here. I'm dying.
Well,
sorry.
unlike what goes on here at the upper deck, we try to gauge fan reactions.
Nice.
Lynn and I try to keep our eyes on Twitter, Facebook, that sort of thing. And we shout out a lot of people and their opinions and, give ours and try to figure out what's going on, whether they have a good idea or a good take or they don't. What are you thinking about this year's Yankees team? How do you like the record? Do you think they can sustain it?
I mean, how could you not like the record at this point? I mean, the fact that they could be 20 games over 500, by the end of May, by today, really. I mean, it's like it's pretty incredible. So, I mean, I'm guilty of, getting on Cashman's rear end about, not doing enough during the off season. I mean, the guys they brought in, it's working. And, the philosophy that they're not just going home run or nothing. They're letting the role guys play their roles. And I think that's something that I know I've been screaming about for the last couple of years is, you can't just stand there and wait for the home run.
Right.
And they're not, look, I love home runs as much as anybody. It's like DJ hits that grand slam. It's great. But, they want to keep tacking on runs and they want to keep, and they're going to play aggressively and they're going to steal bases and they're going to hit the ball. Look at Stanton hitting 3 balls the other way.
Look at him yesterday.
I mean,
all the time. But
I mean, he's hitting over 300, but he's also got the power numbers. And that's the thing. I mean, that's what I've been screaming about. You just need to have a good mix of everything. The pitching's been friggin', more or less lights out.
Yeah.
So you really can't ask for more. As far as it being sustainable, I think as long as that bullpen is not blown out by, August, September.
Yeah.
I think I mean, I don't see a team. I think that bullpen's a huge weapon for them. And I don't know. I mean, I don't know if there's a team, especially in the division, who's going to catch up with them. I mean, I really don't. So, I mean, it's a great surprise. And I don't know. I'm sure as hell not complaining about it. So.
Well, that's a nice segue into the bullpen.
Yeah, that's true because there's trouble in the bullpen all of a sudden. I mean, one thing that I get so tired of hearing on Twitter is if everyone stays healthy, we're going to have a good year. It's
that could be anything.
Shut the hell up. Would you quit saying that? That's true all the time. But, I mean, all of a sudden, the bullpen is not looking so healthy, and there's some problems that have cropped up.
Yeah, I mean, well, we have heal out for 18 to 24 months. We're
that's a tough one.
We'd be lucky to see him towards the end of the 22-23 season. And now right on the heels, no pun intended, we also have Greeny with that forearm severe strain that's out. He's going for a second opinion, but that's TBD and worrisome.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of us were already worried about how early Boone was taking out the starters. Many times you saw them saying, "Oh no, I got one more in me." I remember Semi meeting with him, like, "I got one more in me." But he was calling in. He was really stacking that bullpen, and all of a sudden, we don't really have that luxury potentially, or at the very least, he'll leaves a bit of a gap in terms of who we could bring up. So
that's a little bit. They brought up Marinaccio. Did you see that?
No.
Okay, yeah. So that happened. And then obviously Schmidt and Peralta will take over that, the role Greeny had. What about Herman? Does anybody know how close Herman is?
No idea. I forgot about him.
Off the edge of the universe or what?
Yeah, I don't know if they're just kind of keeping him at arm's length or what, but I mean, I honestly haven't heard a thing about him, and I actually completely forgot about him until you just mentioned him.
And I read a little blurb about Zach Britton this week that he's doing really well.
Oh, he's still far out, isn't he, though?
It said he's doing really well, throwing at 120 feet, and could be in the bullpen soon. That's right. Christy Ackert tweeted that out.
Okay.
So that's encouraging.
It's encouraging. It's not anything to hang your hat on. And you also know when Herman and Britton come back, they're going to need time to settle. So it's not like they're going to come in and step right into where they were. So that's not a whole lot to, I'm going to be apparently that's my role. And then there's Chapman, right? The growing frustration over Chapman.
Oh, there's Chapman.
Then there's Chapman.
I'm going to shout out Gary West, who said, he tweeted out, "Chappie, I love you, but Clay Holmes is my new closer." And he also noted that, excuse me, Chris, I guess it's contagious across the time.
It's over Zoom even.
That's really nasty what you got.
All right, no, I told you.
He also said, "Remember Boone said that he was going to start putting Chapman in innings other than the ninth. And we all agreed that it was a good idea. When's that going to happen?" What's your take on that? Where are we with alignment with Gary on his tweets?
Right.
I mean, me?
Yeah.
Oh,
anyone?
Okay.
Bueller?
No, Bueller? Anyone? Chapman he can be terrifying at times. There are a lot of managers now who will use their closer in just certain high leverage situations, which I do agree with to a certain extent, especially if you have a guy like Holmes at the back end that you could just come in and close a game. So I don't know how much trust Boone actually has in Chapman at this point, aside from him making the big money. I mean, you saw Holmes get the 4 outs yesterday, which was awesome. So I think that gives him a little leeway in that regard. At this point right now, though, I mean, are you bringing Chapman in with 2 guys on in the 6th and, they're down by 1? Because I don't think I would do that either. So, I mean, I don't know if the opportunity has really presented itself for him to come in and try and get out of a jam like that, especially when, he's coming into a clean 9th inning. And he's just putting 2 guys on and making all of us sweat more than he is. So
a rock in a hard place.
That's pretty hard to do.
Kind of screwed, Yeah, I mean, it's not easy. So I mean, it's and it's like you can't show that you have zero confidence in the guy right now, by by not putting him in anywhere or just putting him into a blowout game to get some work. But
I
don't know at this point. I see a guy like Holmes or a guy like King normally. Not disregarding what he did yesterday, obviously, but you have these other options and you have to use them and you can't be afraid to use them. And I think that's why the Yankees have that record they have, why they're doing so well, why the bullpen looks so good, because there's so many interchangeable moving parts there.
Yeah.
And, like I said, I've killed Boone for the last 3 years. And I have to give credit where it's due. I mean, he's doing a good job this year. I don't know if they gave him a little more wiggle room to actually manage or what. But, I mean, it seems like he's mixing, what the front office guys are telling him, the analytic nerds guys, what they're saying, and a little bit of, being a third generation baseball guy, managing with his gut.
Yeah.
So I really think he's doing a good job, which is weird for me to say. It feels weird for me to say, but I'm sick and I can blame it on the Dayquil, so it's cool.
No, it's weird for me to hear it and agree with it. Right?
Yeah.
Chris, I'm sure
it's weird, right?
I don't know if I agree. I mean, I'm not going to hop on the Boone bandwagon any day soon. I've been dissing him for too many years. I'd look like a freaking hypocrite. But I have to say, winning is certainly heals all wounds.
Yeah.
So it's not bothering me a bit the way he's handling the bullpen right now.
Yeah.
And it certainly is working out. And if, we could just shoot Chapman to the sun or something right now. I mean, we have these little jam ups throughout Yankee, the lineup right now, just like in the infield, we have a little jam up, which has actually been working out to everyone's advantage. So Chapman I'm sure will right the ship. I'm not sure of that.
I support that statement.
I'm as wishy-washy as I can be on Chapman. Let's put it that way.
We would have swept the Orioles if he didn't come in.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Something I'm not wishy-washy about is Hicks. And that is another man that needs to be shot straight to the sun, because there's just nothing going on there that really we want to talk about, but everyone's talking about it.
Yeah, they certainly are. And, it's obviously he's got the Yankee uniform on. I want the guy to succeed.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's obvious, and before the injuries, before that Tommy John surgery and then all the weird phantom injuries and the golfer's elbow or whatever the hell it was. Excuse me. Oh my God. All right, I'm dying. Anyway, but before that, he was, he showed flashes that he could be a really solid player. And even if he just hit 240 with, the home runs and walking and, playing solid defense, I mean, then that contract seemed all right. And, derailed by injuries. Now, I mean, after that Tommy John surgery, it's like he just looks like a completely different outfielder.
Yeah.
He's like pulling up on balls. His arm is like Bernie's last year kind of arm, I mean, he just can't get the ball in. And it sucks to see because, you remember a couple years ago when he made that throw, I think it was he was playing left field and he nailed somebody at the plate. The throw was like 110 miles an hour. They got it out, it was like, and then he made that other play out I think it was against the Twins in like a 14-13 game where he just laid out, was parallel to the ground. He looked like Superman and just, that guy's gone. I mean, that he's not that player anymore. And it's sad to see. I mean, because it's, I don't think the guy wants to suck.
No.
I mean, I don't think any player wants to suck and then catch the wrath of an entire fan base. But I mean, I don't think he can be productive anymore. And there's not much you can do with him. I mean, what are you going to trade him for? Case of sunflower seeds at this point? So.
Well, it's interesting that you ask about who they would trade him for, because Joe Randazzo tweeted that the Yankees could field a championship team if they trade for a Hat Benintendi or even a guy like Cole Calhoun, like Ryan Garcia mentioned a few times. I'd rather they get one of them and save these chips for a 2-starter this year or Soto in the coming years.
Soto, I mean, that's kind of a no-brainer.
Are we getting Soto? Let me ask you that.
I doubt it.
Is there any chance that Soto is I don't.
There's always a chance, but I never thought, Stanton would be a Yankee back, before that happened. So there's always a chance,
right.
But I don't see it happening. I mean, like they have to sign Judge. I mean, I don't know how they're gonna have so much on their payroll, after they sign Judge, and I do think they will sign Judge. I think they're gonna pay considerably more than what they would have paid if they did this last year or before.
Yeah.
They could have saved themselves some money by just doing this a couple years ago. But it'd be good for Judge. I mean, he bet on himself and he's going to make the money. So I don't see Soto. I mean, what are you going to have? Stanton, Judge, and Soto in the outfield, each making, $300 million, on $300 million plus contracts. Plus, then you got Cole, and then you got. I just don't see Soto happening.
Not with stingy Hal.
Yeah.
Exactly.
This is another great moment to insert a tweet, and this time from Bautista, who was at the homecoming dinner.
I saw that.
You saw that, Chris?
Yeah.
And he had a nice shot of him with Aaron Judge, who looked like he was signing something, and he said, I said to Judge, hey, man, if you hit free agency, you have to give the Yankees the first word and the last word. And apparently Judge says that sounds good. So, I'm sure Judge didn't think he'd be quoted on it, but there it is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's.
And so, but that's what we hope and want for. And I really do believe, last time I talked to Aaron Judge was a while ago, but I really do believe he wants to be a career Yankee. And so, just a little bit of hope there.
Right.
In terms of Hicks, I'm with you that, and Chris, I mentioned this at the beginning. When he was first coming back, he said on R2C2, R2D2.
R2C2.
No, I always get it.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I'm sorry.
I don't know that. I know why you're saying.
I gotcha. I'm a dope.
Yeah. So he said that he wants to be a 30-30 guy.
Right.
And that's his goal. And I was really excited about that. I was like, oh, some fire in the belly. This is going to be great. So going back to what Chris was saying about, he doesn't want to suck. That was it. I mean, he really, had that goal for himself. So,
and you know what? If a ball player does not have that aspiration to be the best, then they don't belong on the Yankees anyway. So it's not like I don't want Hicks to be aggressive, so to speak, but not with his mouth, Like, just let's do something. He had 2 hits in the last week. It's just watching him is like watching paint dry.
That's right. And his only contribution yesterday was a walk.
I mean, and look, honestly, that walk brought DJ to the plate and boom, but I mean, it's still, it's still a walk. I mean, it's like kind of nothing's happening. Right. And I think that's kind of part of, I get guys that can draw a lot of walks, but I mean, is that really why you want to turn a game on and you want to sit there and watch people walk?
Exactly.
Like, it's like walk or strike out. It's like, okay, well, it's a whole bunch of nothing going on. But granted, look, I mean, it can come in handy like it did yesterday. So, I mean, I can't poo-poo that too much. But
right. And, we don't have to go into the whole thing with Gallo if no one feels like it, because it's really the same arguments.
Yeah, you know what you're getting with Gallo, though. I mean, you knew that. I mean, that's who he is. He's not.
Personally, I never wanted Gallo. I never believed that was like a thing to do. It's always been, I always rolled my eyes, but it's not like I don't like Gallo, but he's not doing anything for us.
No, I mean, that's actually, I was at that series in Texas last year when Kluber threw the no-hitter, and I was at a couple of those games down in Texas. And this is before the trade. And this was when all the rumors were going on. Oh, the Yankees are going to get Gallo. I swear to you, every Texas fan I spoke to a T, all of them said, you can have him. All of them. And I think I said that on Twitter, and I got crucified once again. I'm getting used to it at this point. But I was like, don't shoot the messenger. I mean, like, I don't know whether he's going to fit in New York or not. You figure short porch, right field. It's the perfect place for him. And he's a guy I feel bad for. I don't know if he's a New York guy. I don't know if that gets to him at all.
Yeah.
He seems like a great dude, so it's like I don't want to crap all over him, but but that's who he is. That's what you get with Joey Gallo, and I think you plug a hole like Hicks in that lineup, you can hide some of his shortcomings, and you can take what he's going to give you, whether it's hitting 210, but if he hits 30 bombs, and gets on base, it does walk. It's just you can't have 2 guys doing nothing out there.
No.
So, I think Gallo's a streaky kind of guy. And I think, he will, there'll be, a 20-game stretch where he hits 10 home runs or something, and he'll get hot. But again, like, if that, you can hide that in the lineup very easily if he's the only guy who's producing at that weird level, whatever level, or the Gallo level. I mean, it's like you can't even compare him to anybody, because that's really what he does. And he's, decent enough outfielder.
Right.
I mean, it's kind of shitty that you have 3 right fielders playing across the outfield, and Gallo, Judge, and Stanton. But, I mean, that's also kind of an issue where the Yankees are just like, anybody, these guys are professionals. They can play anywhere. That's not true.
No.
That's not true. I mean, look at how much better of a player Glaber is playing second base.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Stanton actually playing the field because he's in the game. I mean, I think, like, as a DH, I think he was hitting something like, career like 270 something, maybe 280 something, with, a much lower slugging percentage than he does when he's an actual baseball player and playing on the field.
Yeah.
I mean, he said it. He said it himself that he's a better player when he's out there. So, it's just kind of, it is what it is. You just kind of have to deal with whatever decisions that they're making. But I mean, I do think Hicks is the odd man out. Sucks to say, but
yeah.
And it seems like Gallo might be just better being hidden in the bottom of the order too.
Yeah. Well, we're stuck with what we're stuck with, and frankly, this team's been so amazing that it really, I don't know how Gallo and Hicks are getting away with it, except that everyone else is performing at a high level this year, and it's amazing for all of us.
Yeah.
The real issue is whether or not the starting pitching will hold up, and whether we start to see any injuries or anything like that coming up down the road for them, because that's been elite all season. Nestor's been a surprise, although he was a little bit off the last time out. Tyone's on the mound today. I don't know. I have to say I don't usually get too excited when I hear Tyone's pitching, but I ought to. He's doing fine for us this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Who's he facing today?
This is interesting. Cueto. Right?
Really?
Yeah. And he's not pitched. I don't think he's pitched this year because he was a free agent. He just got signed.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I didn't even know he was on the White Sox.
Yeah, I was shocked. I had to look it up because I thought, first of all, I'm like, he's a giant, but I knew he had to not be a giant, obviously. But anyway, so that's going to be an interesting matchup today. We'll see how it goes. Any final thoughts from you on this?
So,
Lynn?
I don't have intel on the pitcher for the Sox today. I don't even know if he's lefty righty and what his ERA is. And
he doesn't. He has the ERA is 0.00.
Oh,
because he hasn't pitched this year.
And so that caffeine thing.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, we should feast on him today, but who knows?
Right.
It depends. Yeah. Sorry, again.
No. I was going to say.
Oh, God. Yeah, you got it from me now. Spreading a super spreader over here from the desert.
Northrop, stay away from us.
I'm trying.
So much of it hinges on what the lineup is, too. Who are we sitting? Who's DHing?
Right.
I'm hesitant that we'll get Stanton on the field. At best, DH, which would be fine. And the lefty-righty thing, I think, matters, too, a bit. And then what about IKF? Before we wrap, Chris, you're one of the tweets I'd call out. You had some thoughts about IKF.
I did? Oh, my God. What did I say? I hope I didn't embarrass myself.
No. But basically, I'm not going to quote it.
Okay, gotcha. I remember now.
I tried. But the concept of it was, IKF had been slumping for, a long bit of time. And, some thoughts about, ways to bench him and move things around the field a bit. And so my question really is, he's the things we saw the past couple of days, is he breaking out of that slump? I mean, they weren't big things, but, he also got on base, to also contribute to the score. So how are we feeling about IKF? Because I'm really not objective. I've been team IKF from the beginning. And maybe that's because I was so glad not to see Glaber at short. that anyone would have been the second coming. But so just in terms of the infield, a good check-in on that.
Yeah.
And whether he should be benched more. And not that came from you, Chris, but.
No, it didn't. I remember the tweet now.
No, and I want to make it clear, that's not what you said. That's what
no, that's not what I said. But,
no, not at all.
I mean, I'm team IKF. I don't know about Chris.
Oh, I have my Hawaiian Hustle shirt on as we speak. So yeah, I mean, it's, look, I like the guy. I like when he brings to the table. I mean, last year I think he got like 172, 175 hits. He's gonna get your hits. He's he doesn't walk, so his OBP is not, crazy, but I mean, he's gonna get on base. He's gonna move guys over. He's gonna have his RBIs.
Yep.
I mean, shortstop, I think, I mean, he's made a couple bonehead plays over there, but he's not a true shortstop, but I mean, I still think he's better than Glaber over there.
Oh yeah.
Glaber is obviously a much better second baseman, so.
Yeah.
I mean, I like him. I'm team IKF. And,
I'm team IKF.
I have no problem with him.
No problem.
Let's go.
Maybe we'll see a fly gear T-shirt for him soon.
Yeah, we need a Ballnine, T-shirt for IKF. There we go. Yeah.
There it is.
Absolutely.
I wanted to make it look like you got it in an airport in 1979.
Totally what it looks like. We're so retro. Cool. So you think we're getting Trevino today instead of Higgy? Since Higgy was in yesterday, are they going to be switching?
We'll probably get one of each.
In terms of who the pitcher is.
I don't know who's pitching the second game. I forgot.
Oh, so it's likely both of them. But
yeah, so you'll probably get one of each.
I just wanted to quickly mention for Max Goodman, I would not have known or guessed this. Jose Trevino is in the league's 100th percentile in framing this season.
Wow.
He's tied with Yadier Molina and Sean Murphy as the only company. As the only catchers with 2 catcher framing runs per StatCast.
Wow.
Who would have thought it? I mean, how would we, I don't think we've had much focus on Trevino. Everything has been about Higgy and his offense. He's really just not been performing at the plate.
Right.
So I wanted to put that out there. Maybe we need to be looking at Trevino a little bit. Yeah. But he's been excellent, and look, obviously neither of them are giving you a ton of offense, but you know what? That's a defense first position. Always has been. Right. Everybody can't be, Jorge Posada back there, but it's like, but look how much better the pitching staff as a whole has done with those 2 guys back
Absolutely.
there, and that's worth it to me. To me, that's okay. They get an occasional hit. Obviously Higgy, he was hitting the hell out of the ball in spring training, and then just fell off a cliff. But you know what? If it makes the pitching staff better, it makes the entire team better.
Absolutely.
So I'm more than happy with both of them. More power to Gary Sanchez in Minnesota. Do your thing, but do it there.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely. I really think that so many things are working right for the Yankees right now, that the things that people are criticizing, analyzing, bitching and moaning about, they're really not at the heart of the matter, because things are going great.
Yeah, it's nitpicking a little.
Yeah, there's just not too many reasons to pick the team apart right now. And the holes that we have, I think that we can count on those, maybe something at the trade deadline, who knows, something like that. Those are, that's basically my final thoughts on the matter. What about you, Lynn?
So I'm looking ahead to, I was thinking about who we haven't faced in our own division.
Yeah.
We haven't gotten to the Rays yet.
Yeah.
So, that's a hanging concern, wondering of mine. I neglected to look at how soon we meet them. I feel like, well, we're ODing on Orioles and White Sox again. I can't believe this marathon of them. But that I'm left thinking about that. I'm remain optimistic, but cautiously optimistic. I think I'm still managing my expectations because, history shows, what happens in October tends to happen. But we haven't had a start like this in seasons and seasons. So I'm going to go with what I know. And we have a doubleheader. I hope that we use the pitching really wisely game one. And I think game one's on Amazon Prime. And then, the second on Yes. But, we just have to, I think I'll end with where we started. It's about the pitching situation in the bullpen because, we were solid with our rotation. No one had any concerns with our rotation. And we are finally solid with the bullpen. And now we're learning we can't hang our cap on that because it's early in the season for two critical injuries.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So go Yankees.
Yeah.
Final thought? Oh.
Yeah. Final thought from Chris. Anything you want to say?
Yeah, actually, to Lynn's point, the Yankees actually head to the Trop, that giant indoor porta potty, on Thursday of this week. So that starts this week. I didn't look as far as when they come back to New York, but it looks like there's a 3-game set Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It might be 4. I'm not positive. So we'll see. I mean, that's always a good litmus test of where the team is.
Exactly.
Hey, I think you guys, said it best. I mean, it will come down to the pitching. But we're going to see what happens today. Double headers are always hard to sweep. So I don't know what the weather is like back there today, but if it's, like 95 degrees again, It's going to be a slog. It is?
Yeah.
It is.
All right.
Yeah, we're not competing with you, but it's hot as
I mean, it's not even 9 o'clock in the morning, but it's nice today. It's like 72 right now. And
nice.
So I can't complain. I hope it stays that way.
Your background is more appealing. It looks fake. How beautiful it is. But seriously. Okay, so Chris, we'll have an interesting show next week. We'll have done 3 with Tampa.
Yes, exactly.
Have fun with that.
We'll probably have more to complain about then, I'm sure.
Always.
Well, there's always something to complain about. Come on.
Always something new to complain about. All right, well, we want to thank Chris for joining us. It was a pleasure talking to you, and good luck in all your endeavors.
Thank you. Pleasure was mine.
And hopefully you'll come back on again and
sure.
We'll talk again.
Absolutely. Hopefully next time I can actually speak without muting to cough every 30 seconds.
We appreciate you coming on with a cold.
Yeah,
sorry about
no problem. It's all right. It's my pleasure. It's actually nice to do something instead of like lay in bed and groan about the Yankees. So it's fine.
Karma coins thrown at you for.
Good. See, thank you. That's good. That makes me feel good. So let's hope it carries over. Let's hope the karma carries over. And, I didn't wake up this early to watch a Yankee game and they get blown out because that'll make me sicker in different ways.
Gonna happen.
Yeah.
All right.
Games, not the sickness. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for having me on.
Lynn,
Seriously,
take
thank
us
you.
away.
That was fun.
You always have the last word.
So, as always, don't forget to like, subscribe to the YouTube channel. It'll be in the tweet when it comes out, when this episode drops, as the kids say. And also, we want you to comment. Just a reminder that this whole podcast had 2 missions. A women's only hosted podcast, which is accomplished every week, but also to bring your perspective, you the fans' perspective to what we talk about. And so other than that, like we say every week, you'll always have your reserved seat with Chris and me on the upper deck. And let's go Yankees.
Go Yankees.
Go Yankees.